Hi, guys. This is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural. Oh, actually, the Beyond the Veil Bible study on the Supernatural show. Sorry, this is all a little new for me today. This is my first recorded version of this, although it is live, and y'all guys are welcome to come be part of this in multiple ways, actually. A certain number of you, I think it's 9 or 10, can actually join me in studio. And if you're a member of the Beyond the Veil Club on the Supernatural Show website, so the Supernatural Show website, um, and you become a member of the website, and then you join the Beyond the Veil, you can come and actually be in studio, meaning you would be here like I am, as you can see. You would be here next to me and be able to contribute and be here present for it. You can also just watch and you can make comments and such during the broadcast. And when you make comments in the broadcast, um, I would simply just be showing the comments and questions and or any information you might have to contribute to the Bible study that we're going to be doing today. And speaking of the Bible study that we're going to be doing today, um, what we're going to be talking about actually is, um, well, let me do this. Again, this is the first time I've done this, so I'm having to realize some of the things I need to do. But this is a study of, well, let's see, we would call it, see, what did, I should be able to see it here. I wanted to name it exactly what we're going to be studying. But for some reason, I'm not seeing oh, here we go. There it is. Sorry about that. It's the hairy beast with 3 ribos in its mouth, Beyond the Veil Bible Study. This came up actually in one of the live shows I did the other day, and somebody made a comment, and it made me realize. And you probably wonder why I said ribos instead of ribs. The bear, or the beast like a bear, that the book of Daniel talks about coming in the end times. And I'm exploring what that beast is, and the fact that it has 3 ribs in its mouth. Something that became clear to me a while back is when it says the word rib, for instance, like in Genesis, when it talks about the creation of Eve, the word rib actually is meaning ribo, R-I-B-O. It's part of the word that is for DNA. Okay, ribo. It's the rib or the ribo. It's what ribo means is master's code. It means it is the DNA code of our bodies, and so it had 3 ribos in its mouth, and it's very interesting that it would have 3 ribos in its mouth. Let me go ahead and copy this over here so I can show it on the screen real quick. Again, this is all pretty new for me too today, so I apologize and appreciate you bearing with me if you're here watching, or if you watch this afterwards as well, because this is going to be posted on the website for all the Beyond the Veil members to watch. And also it's going to be posted on YouTube in the Beyond the Veil channel for others to watch at a future date. And so yeah, so let me save this and let me move this up to the top so I can show it. Here we go. There we go. Okay. So the hairy beast with 3 ribos in its mouth, which is in Daniel. So um, we're going to go, actually, let's just do this. Let's just run a search for 3 ribs. Okay. And of course, we get an ad because we're using an online uh, version of the Bible. which I don't prefer, but it's the easiest to be able to show y'all guys. So, matter of fact, you can see right here, it's talking about Genesis, where it says, "And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept, and he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof." The ribs, that's what I'm referring to. That's the ribo. It doesn't actually mean a physical rib. It means the ribo, the master's code, or the rabbi. Okay, and but then we're talking about Daniel here. Let's click on that. And we're going to talk about this right here in the red. Okay. And we're going to take the study on from here. And making sure that one of y'all guys that are beyond the veil member is not trying to contact me right now. Because I texted a couple of you earlier. Okay, no. Okay, good. All right. So we're going to take a look at this and read this and go from here. Okay. Let's just start at the top and then we'll come down and focus on this red area. This is Daniel 7. It says, "In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his visions of his head upon his bed. And then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens drove upon the great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another." So it's about the great sea, the waters in which symbolically we really represent. It means, or not just us, but according to this, there were four beasts that came out of the sea, meaning out of the earth, out of the water, which we are because our bodies are mostly water. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. Okay, and certainly this is something that we need to look at as well. We're going to focus on, because of the realization of what this is saying, we're going to focus on this one here, of course. So 5 says, "And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh." So what I'm proposing again is that where it says 3 ribs over here, it is actually referring to master's code, meaning DNA. And it's saying 3. Well, humans only have 2. We're made in the image of God, and we only have 2. But I am aware, because of the symbolism that the evil ones of this world are using, that they are saying that they are going to create beings, meaning man and woman, that have 3 strands of DNA. Okay, a triple helix, if you will. Okay, if you know what I'm speaking of, triple helix. So 3 strands of DNA. And so this isn't like a normal supernatural show. So I'm going to have to slow down and think and analyze the words that we're looking at here, so that we can understand these things better. Okay. So let's do that. And if you're watching this and you're a member of the Beyond the Veil, thank you very much, because what you're doing is you're supporting this work. And this work, even here, is not going to be hidden where nobody else is going to be able to see it other than Beyond the Veil. It's just a way that I can thank y'all guys and allowing y'all guys to uh, be here with me, because you can literally be here in the show with me, um, right in the window with me if you want, or you can choose to watch and make comments from the private link that you got, or that you can get from the website. As a matter of fact, I'll show you um, what I'm talking about, and you should have already seen this, but if not, I'm going to make sure that you know. If you come over here to Beyond the Veil and you come down to Beyond the Veil Live Study and you click on that, now notice that, okay, it did update. No, not completely. Notice that seems like there's something missing down here, right? A lot of times you're going to need to refresh your page, just like I'm having to do right now, because your browser, your internet browser, will a lot of times save um, the page. It's called caching the page. It saves the page, and you will not be able to see the most recent information. And the way that you can make sure that you're getting the most recent information is by coming up here to this little button that looks like a little circle with an arrow in it, and hitting that button, and it will refresh the page for you, download the most recent copy of the page, and then you get the other information down here that I was saying was missing. Now I'm trying to get this set up so that there's a couple other places y'all guys can view this. One is you can click here on this link, okay? And that link is going to open up, and you're going to see this. Link is going to open, which is me, of course, live. And you can comment over here to the right. You can join the chat and you can comment. Of course, you need to put a name or nickname in there. And I'm just going to put mine in here real quick. So Daniel Cannon, Daniel Alexander Cannon, of course. We'll say join the chat. And then here we have the chat started, okay? And then we can post whatever we would like to in the chat. And you can participate this way. And you can ask me questions. And because the number of people that are going to be here is going to be a lot smaller than when we're doing the live videos, I'm going to pay specific attention to your messages. I'm going to read each and every one of them and respond appropriately. Okay. And then underneath there'll be other links and information like I normally have under a lot of my videos and stuff. Okay. So there is your what it looks like when you click on this link here. But you always want to remember to refresh the page, because you might have the old link in here. And I'm going to be putting the dates on here so that you know, like today is the 12th. So I'm going to be putting the dates so it's not confusing. If you see a date that's not the day's date that you're on, then you know you need to refresh your page for sure. Okay. And many other pages on the website are like that. You need to refresh your pages fairly often to make sure you've got the most recent view. Okay. So with that being said, let's go back down here and pull back up our online version here. Let's read 5 again. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear. It didn't say it's a bear. What it's saying is it has attributes like a bear. Now, we know a bear is very hairy, right? And he's very powerful, right? So it's talking about something that is very hairy and very powerful and can be or could be very gruesome. And it says, and it raised up itself on one side, which I don't understand other than what it says there, what the symbolism beside, but of raising itself on one side, knowing that this has got to do with DNA or the master code, God's code, because it says, and it had 3 ribs in its mouth of it, between the teeth of it. Knowing that it's talking about DNA there, then you have to kind of look at this, and it raised up itself on one side and kind of think, okay, if it's talking about DNA and it's mentioning the teeth in the mouth, so, and it's mentioned also to devour much flesh. And so, what is it that it may be saying? You have to ponder those things. And I'm not going to have every answer to every word that we see here today, but we're just studying it. It's not all the answers. We're looking for the questions, because you can't find the answers until you find the questions. And the question for me is this triple helix DNA. See, they showed it on about, I think it was 2021, or maybe it was 2020. I think it was 2021. They showed at the Seattle Space Needle, they had a kind of like a digital New Year celebration where they showed this online demonstration of like lasers and all this kind of stuff, but it was all computer generated. And they showed the triple strand DNA, the triple helix DNA during that presentation. And they've done it another several other ways too. Like when the Queen, when Prince Charles was being crowned or whatever, or getting ready to be crowned. Anyways, they stood out in the courtyard in front of their mansion, right? And they had these lights run out, and it was triple strand DNA running up to this tree, running up to a tree. So it was lights on the ground, and it was running backwards and forth on itself, triple stranded DNA running up towards the tree. Maybe I can even pull that up. We could even possibly take a little look. Let's see. Let's try and see. Let's see. Prince Charles triple. Let me see if it happens to be anything. Triple DNA. Let's see if someone's put something up about it. Not seeing anything right off where somebody has recognized what I'm talking about, but I know some people have. Let's do a Google search. This is kind of like how I study, so this isn't a normal The Supernatural Show or Logic Before Authority. This is a study. It's different. This isn't for entertainment at all. So if you're looking for entertainment, you're in the wrong place. If you're looking for knowledge, you're in the right place. Okay, so Prince Charles coronation. That might have been tree images. Now imagine this tree here could be something to do with it. But let's see if what I'm actually looking for. It was when the Queen was standing out on the courtyard, and she had the triple stranded lights, the DNA running up to the tree. Let's see here. Let's do lights. Lights. Okay. Still not seeing what I'm looking for there, but let me look here. Like I said, this is a study. This isn't. This is not entertainment because it would be not very entertaining. Um, hmm. Let's just take a look at a few of these and see if we see anything that's related. We might. This says live from the Empire State Building. The Empire State Building, King Charles coronation lighting ceremony.
Stop! Captain Jenkins been red.
Let's go forward. See if
friends and colleagues, here we are in this truly historic moment, celebrating the coronation of Their Majesties King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
So they threw a switch on the Empire building, which I'm assuming lit up the outside of the building. So I'm looking to see if I see anything related to that. Not right off, but I'm sure it's got to be there. Let's see here. Let me try. Let's look at it from the Queen. Queen lights up tree. See, this looks like it might be it. Maybe. This was in 2022. Let's see if this is it. A chance. Yep, that's it. Let me go full screen with it. This is what I'm talking about. Just watch this, guys. I'll be right back.
Your Majesty, the Commonwealth of Nations closed.
That's bad. And this is what I showed you the admin. You have to log into. That's your email. See the triple-stranded DNA? The tree of life, and it's going up and lighting up the tree of life. They're attempting to live forever, be like God and live forever is what this is about. Yep. So there you have it. That's what I'm talking about. And of course, I could pull up the Seattle needle years. I think it was 2021. And there's a lot of reasons why I'm showing you guys this. If, yeah, let's see. Let's just go to, it was called the Seattle's Virtual New Year's at the Needle Show, right? So let's click on this and check this out. Because it's showing symbolically.
At this we can get your brand into your customers' hands or their heads.
Sorry about the commercials. All right. So let me increase the resolution. No, resolution's high enough. So here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Like symbolic for the Big Bang in heaven, the torus, the spinning of the torus. See the storm spinning, the core of the storm. The needle represents the eye of the storm, the tree trunk. And here are all of the branches going off from the tree. And there's your double-stranded, your normal DNA. But you see there's another line forming around it. Let's see what happens. I hadn't watched this in 2 years. I believe that's a tetrahedron, cube inside of a cube kind of thing. Which, if you've looked at Mecca much, you'll know that they worship the cube. So here's your cell division. The hive. The blooming of the flower, a new creation. Butterflies in the image of God, that they say they are creating a new creation. Now they're probably going to show us what their plan is. Butterfly is a point of creation. It's in the image of the point of creation. Looks like we've had somebody actually join us. So let's say hi to them for a second. Let's pause this and see who we've got. Hey there, Cassandra. I see you there. That's awesome. I'm glad you did make it. Yeah, thank you very much for dropping in. This is just I don't know how long you've been here. Let me see. It says you made it, and it says 3:29. So you just got here. Okay. Well, what we're doing is looking at the Daniel. Well, let me pull up here just a little review real quick. What we're doing is looking at the Daniel 7 and, like, for instance, 5. It says, and behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear. Doesn't say it is a bear, but like to a bear. Something powerful and very hairy. And it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise and devour much flesh. So, it says, you said, Cassandra says, Seattle is just down the street. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at trying to understand, because I believe that when it mentions let me highlight it here for you, Cassandra. It says 3 ribs. Okay. 3 ribs. So 3 ribs. Well, I've come to understand that what it's talking about, just like in the book of Genesis, when it's talking about the creation of Eve, it is talking about the rib. It says the rib, and what it's actually talking about is the ribo. Rib is part of the word for DNA. DNA being the acronym, and what is it? Dioxin, rabu, something. But anyways, rib itself, or ribo, or rabbi, is talking about master's code. It's the master's code. And so it's talking about this beast that was like a bear, had triple-stranded DNA, I think. Now, this is a study, so I'm not proclaiming for sure anything because this is a study, but we're just looking at things and trying to understand. And so I'm trying to catch you up, Sandra, as to where I'm kind of at. So then what we did was we went over and we looked at, let me show you again real quick here. Let's back out of there for a second. And let me show you this one more time, Cassandra. Okay. So this was Queen Ignites Windsor Castle Jubilee Beacon. Okay. And it says, the Queen has triggered the Platinum Jubilee Beacon lighting from Windsor Castle while Prince William represented her outside Buckingham Palace to see the principal beacon tree of trees light up. They are one of thousands of beacons that were lit across the UK and overseas to mark the monarch's 70 years on the throne. And it says the principal beacon, tree of trees. Tree of trees. I think we're talking about the tree of life and their attempt to alter it or to gain that knowledge and be as God and live forever. Because I've said many times, and you probably remember this, Cassandra, that they are trying to go back to the garden and put Adam and Eve back together again. It's what they're trying to do. So take a look at this, Cassandra, because this is not like a normal supernatural show. This is focused on y'all guys, the people who are members of the Beyond the Veil. So let's check this out again so that I can catch Cassandra up here. There's the orb that represents basically the seed, the apple. That represents the apple. Just like for my pet goat where she drops the apple. That's what they call the royal orb. And you see she has her rod in her hand, her staff, like Aaron's staff, Moses' staff. And she pushed the button on the seed, on the apple, and it produced triple helix DNA. You see there are 3 rows of lights running towards the tree. They're trying to go back to the garden, Cassandra. And you can see this image. This is in the image of a torus or a toroidal field or DNA, which is the same thing. So they're showing you, if we have eyes to see that what they are doing. And so I'm over here now, we're looking at the Seattle Virtual New Year's at the Needle show from 2021. And I'm going to back it up because it isn't very long and let you see it from the beginning again, because any of this we should be looking at multiple times to understand it anyway. So if you're watching this at a later time, we should watch this several times. But let's check it out. There's the universe, the one sound or the one harmony. And there's the explosions, and here's your toroidal storm forming, the eye of the storm. The needle represents the trunk of the tree, and there are branches reaching out. And see, they're showing, I think what they're showing here, of course, that's obviously DNA, but what they're showing here is what was. And I think they're going to show us what they're planning here in a minute. So there's your typical cell division, creation. That, of course, looks like a hive and a birth of a new creation like the lotus flower in iPad Goat. And there's your butterfly, which is in the image of a point of creation, which I've talked about on the channel. And here comes, I think, what they're going to show us symbolism and imagery for the future. What they're working on, what they've got planned, what they're doing. So you have a flower blooming there again. It's lotus flowers blooming on top of lotus flowers. And there are flowers on the end of each of these. This is the new tree. See, those are lotus flowers floating around out there on these little limbs. There's like lily pads. And these are stacked lotus flowers. And the bloom that was coming out the top. Notice the toroidal movement around the trunk of the tree, around the needle, below the waters. And where did it say that the beast with 3 ribs came out of? Out of the waters. And where is this symbolism of? This is in the waters. Of course, there's fish and jellyfish. We're in the waters. There's flame. And this is the trunk of the tree, the eye of the needle, the pupil of the eye. There's your key and a keyhole, gateway. See the toroidal movement and all the gears, the wheel within a wheel, many wheels within a wheel, and a keyhole. And well, I guess that was it, was it? Or let me see, this may be an ad. Let me see. No, it's still going. We're still going, Cassandra. Let's see what else they showed us. So they showed us the key, the gateway, the toroidal fields, the trunk of the tree, the needle. Likely the word needle is very symbolic too as to where this attempt to go back to the garden is coming from, the genetic therapy, as they like to call it. tetrahedron type look again. Cassandra, can you hear me okay while I'm doing this? Will you give me a comment that you can hear me okay? And you know that also I invited you, just anybody that is a member of the Beyond the Veil can schedule themselves. Right now the schedule's completely open, but I can have up to 10 people, I think it is, in the room with me while we're doing these studies. Um, and right now anybody can get in that's a member. Sometime we might have to start scheduling it. And yes, you can hear me good, so that's awesome. Okay, great. All right, I just wanted to make sure and remind anybody. See, all I would have to do is take this link, for instance, and post it like that. That link actually brings you into the studio, and then you would be here with me, but your video and your mic would be on. So you have to think about that and make sure where you're at. And you can come in and be in here with me up to 10 people at a time. I think it's 10. But then everybody else is in the comments, but that's limited to a total of, I think it's 120 or something like that. So, and I have the ability to upgrade after that, but right now it's limited to 120 people as members of the Beyond the Veil Club that can participate in one of these studies like this. So yes, so let's keep going. And at any time, Cassandra, you're welcome to join me here in the studio by clicking that link, or you can just simply stay right there where you're at. I'm grateful to have you here for the first Beyond the Veil Bible study that I've been able to hold. So either way, I'm very pleased and very happy, and I thank you for your time. So let's keep going. Oh, here's Tons. Here's Cassandra. Well, hello, Cassandra. Can you hear me? Let me check. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
I can hear you just fine. Yep. So welcome to the Beyond the Veil on the website, and it's appropriate that you be here first, I suppose, because you've been active on the website a lot, and we've talked some, and everything. And I thank you for joining me. And so now, if you have a question or a thought, you can just share it right here with me, And but we're gonna continue with the study. And like I was saying, guys, about up to 10 people can join me in here like this in the Beyond the Veil study. And if it gets kind of noisy, all we have to do is have everybody mute their mic, or I can do it for them.
So I have a question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I am experiencing echoing, and it says to use headphones, which I don't. But if I mute my mic, should that stop?
Well, let me try it. Let me mute your mic for you for a second. Okay. Uh, Give me a thumbs up if the echoing stopped. Can you hear me? Check your head yes if you can hear me. Okay, let me unmute you.
It's still going on, but
I think it's it's a feedback thing that you got going on there. I don't have any echo on my side. I can hear you perfectly, but I have a more expensive mic here that cancels out the echo and that kind of stuff. And I've kind of got my system set up here. But yeah, you might try a little cheap little set of headset or something other next time and see if it'll get rid of that echo for you.
okay.
If you've got some, you can even try it right now. I'll wait on you.
Yeah, I'll make grab it.
Okay. I mean, this is the first time I'm doing it, so, and it's for these people that are beyond, on the Beyond the Veil. So we can do this. We got to figure it out how it all works too, so it best benefits everybody. So,
I have never used the camera on this before. It's always been covered up.
I don't blame you. I get it. Those spies out there, but they're not really watching any of us individually too much, but they're watching everything when it comes to these phones and the internet and everything. They've got AIs that are doing it.
So I'll probably have to leave the studio today, but I'll get some headphones so that I can come in another time. But I'm going to have to stop it.
Okay, you can do that, and you're welcome to pop back in after you get your headphones set up and try it again if you want to.
Yeah, I'll have to buy some that go into my PC.
You're saying it's not fitting the ones you got?
Right.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. All right. But when I mute your mic, it still echoes, huh?
It does.
Let's try it one more time. Let me mute you here. All right. Is any echo now? Are you hearing echo now? Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Okay, you're unmuted.
It does. It repeats, but maybe if I'm just quiet, I can just sit here.
Maybe. Or was it echoing when you were not in studio?
No.
Okay. All right. Then, yeah, that's something we're going to have to figure out. So this is a good experience because others will have this problem too. If you're having it, so we got to have a protocol, you might say, and need to put it on the website so people are prepared when they want to come in studio. That be prepared for that kind of situation, for the echo, and find a solution for it. Trying to think. Let me look at your audio profile real quick. Let me check one other thing here. Edit mic settings. Let me. Does that change anything for you?
It just keeps repeating.
Okay. Okay. So what it is your mic is picking up my audio, which is causing it to repeat on your side. Let me try and change this again. See if it make. Okay. So that made it worse, probably. So what it is your mic is picking up my. Yeah, that made it worse. Obviously, I just suggested I have some settings on my side I can adjust on your side. Is the volume okay?
The volume's great.
Volume's great. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to look into that. I imagine some other people have run into the same problem, and I can probably track down the solution for what it is. So, but you're welcome to hang out if you can deal with the echo, and if not, you always can go back to the page on the website and click the link from there and come back that way. But I appreciate you being here. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and continue taking a look at this. Them showing us the triple stranded DNA, highly suspect is some of the imagery we're going to see here in a minute. Is that okay? Yep. Play that again. You see the triple stranded DNA, Cassandra? 3 strands of light going up. That's what I'm talking about. There's the tree, triple stranded DNA again, with a lotus flower on top. The blooming of the creation, just like an pet goat. The creation of a new creation. You see, when this happened, Cassandra, this was right at the beginning of when they started the pandemic, or well, we can just say it right here, the pandemic, the rollout of trying to get people to take the genetic therapy needles to alter their DNA. And so the timing of this, for them showing this, is obviously absolutely perfect. They chose the exact timing to do it. And and they're showing the triple stranded DNA. If you come up with any questions, Cassandra, feel free to unmute and ask me anything you want at any time, because this is about us understanding together. This isn't like the normal supernatural show. This is different. This is open conversation, just like in a typical Bible study, you might say. Okay. You see, they're showing what looks like, planets, as they would like to call them, and the wandering stars, like the Bible talks about, that were placed in darkness to travel forever in this path until the end of time, kind of thing. And I know they believe that these are beings, that like Saturn is a being that exists in a toroidal field, and as well the other wandering stars, the like Saturn and Jupiter and Mars and all of them. There's none of them that I believe that they could ever potentially land on. And I think I said in one of my last shows I did, like Saturn, you can go buy a $30 telescope and see something that's 50 billion miles away. I mean, it's insanity to think you can get a $30 telescope and see something that's 50 billion miles away. It's because it's not. It's right there above us in the heavens. It's just right there, and all these things are. So in order to understand the symbolism of what they're trying to show here, you have to first understand that. And because, see, the toroidal fields that they exist in, it's the same thing I've been trying to explain, that we live in a toroidal field. We live in a universe, and all the things repeat, smaller, tiny, all the way down to our DNA with the double helix, DNA swirling around the tree. And it works the same all the way up into the movement of the heavens. If you've ever seen a time lapse of the heavens moving, they spin in a circle, and they want to claim that we're the ones spinning, and it's a lie. We're not the ones spinning. It's the heavens, the host of the heavens, the angels that God placed in the heavens to be the host that's spinning around us. And just like the sun and the moon spinning around us, the sun itself is a toroidal field, and so is the moon. But I guess what I'm trying to say is all these things repeat, just like the water twirling down your toilet, or you see in a river where the water goes around a rock, it'll create a whirlpool. This is repeating pattern that's all throughout all of creation, all the way from the creation in the image of an apple. The apple is in that image as well, is in that toroidal, like two owl eyes, with like two Vesica Pisces, but in a three-dimensional version, the shape of an apple. And the center, the core of the apple, is the eye of the storm, is the eye where creation is. The same reason why the seeds are in the center of the toroidal field, the center of the apple, is the same reason why we live in the center of the apple. We are creation. We live in the center of the world, WHRLED. That's why they changed the spelling of it to fool us. But thank God they didn't fool me. and now they haven't fooled you either. So we live in the eye of the storm. We live in the eye of the apple. We are the apple of God's eye. And that's such a beautiful thing to understand. I'm going to just give all the credit to my Father in heaven for his understandings, because I'm just a simple man. And but for some reason or other, I decided to pay attention and ask the questions, and for some reason God chose me to allow me to be able to do this. And so, with that being said, let's look more at this spinning of the heavens as they're showing, and see if we can discern a little bit more about this. See, let me say this too. The occultist Aleister Crowley once said something that was true, and it's also written in the Bible. It says, he said, as above, so below, because he had knowledge. He said it, and most people would never understand that, but I understand it. The Bible says, in relation to it, it says, as on heaven, so is on earth, or as on earth, so is in heaven. It means that everything works the same. It's all working off the same master code, the same ribo. And so when they're showing us this, you're also looking at kind of an image of what's going on in our own bodies, even to the molecular level down in the cells. So we're not sure if we're looking at the heavens here, or whether we're looking actually inside of the cell itself. They may be showing us the spinning of the molecular body inside the cell, because he was right. As above is so below. It's the same. And if you think about the images and pictures of Christ, he'll have one hand pointing up, and he'll have one hand, fingers pointing down, right? What is he saying? I think we might know what he's saying. He's saying that I don't really like quoting Aleister Crowley, but he's saying, just like the Bible says, as on earth, so as in heaven, and vice versa. It's all the imagery is the same. Everything is all in the same imagery. It's in the image of God. And what is God? God is the eye, the apple. I can now look back and see why they were so fascinated with doing the triangle thing with their hands and putting their eye through it and doing all that kind of stuff. It's because they know about it. They know about these things, and they've been taught and taught about it. But what they don't know is that what they're doing is they're worshiping the creation and not the creator. They're rebelling against the creator and trying to become God themselves. They want, what does Lucifer want to do? What does Satan want to do? He wants to be the most high. He wants to be not just like God, but he wants to dethrone God and be God, and that's literally what we're looking at, what they're symbolizing and attempting here, just in what we're talking about. We're going to look more at the Bible here in just a minute too. Let's look a little bit more at this. This makes me think of veils of light, as it has to do with man, and veils being removed or put in place. And I suspect they're symbolizing removed, but these are like curtains, like veils of light, and that is what separates us from being able to see the things that are beyond the veil, which is why I named this work I'm doing Beyond the Veil. It was turned out just so perfect and appropriate, because this study is studying things that are beyond the veil, that very, very few people upon this planet understand, and most of them aren't seeking it and will never understand it. So now we've got some dramatic, dark sounding music starting. So let's see what we got. You remember that link you sent me? The video of the man talking about, what was it? Let me look at it here on the text. I think it was you that sent it to me.
The one about talking about.
What was it called? It was the Rumble link with the man talking about. I got a picture of it right here. Let me pull it up.
It was on
Laminin.
Saint, and it was within
his presentation. Laminin. Lamb sounds like lamb, obviously. Lamb in protein.
Oh, laminin, the molecule that holds everything together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the repeating structure of the point of creation, just like is in our forehead right here. That I'm sure you've seen on my videos when I'm talking about point of creation stuff. And probably next week or very, very soon here, I'm going to be doing more shows on it, but I'm going to be definitely going into depth on the body thing, especially the head being the vessel, the Ark of the Covenant, and it being, you can see it right in the head. I mean, in the bone structure and the brain structure. You can see the toroidal field. It's everything. It's like the head is the apple. My mind keeps stretching around it more and more each day, seeing it better and better. And it's truly mind blowing. And how in the world I've been able to figure this stuff out is there's only one answer, and you know what that is. So, all right, let's keep going. Another commercial, I think. Oops. New fire, new creation taking place. Reminiscent of the fireworks that are inside of I Pick Goat in that scene. Celebration of one ending and one beginning, both being the same spot in time, the end and the beginning. I mean, they make it obvious that they're talking about creation of man, recreation of man. I mean, they got the images of the head up there and all this, and then they've got this needle thing. If they're talking about the head, it's right here. right in between the eyes, with the veils hanging on it. And then you can see the wings even of the ship. Our forehead right here, the two cells, the two main cells, the greater wing, that's our forehead right here. It's what leads us. And the lesser wing is down below down here. Whew. All right. Oh, let's keep going. You've seen them, the symbolism of the hands and creating with the hands. You know, they're trying to build a kingdom with the hands, just like they've done over and over throughout time. Build God's kingdom with hands.
Also, the pineal gland there that they often show in symbolism looks like a pine cone, I would want to say. You
Yeah,
see that?
it's directly related to the pine cone. It's in the crown of the tree. It's like why pine needles are called pineal. Pineal because the pine tree, the tree itself, is in a is an image of not just our life, but the life of our entire genealogy, your whole tree of life, going back to all the way back to God. You know, that is the tree with all the limbs coming off and all the pine cones. That's the seeds, you know, dropping off and being created because the seed from another tree comes and mixes with that tree, fertilizes the tree, and then the seed falls off onto the ground and creates a new life, a new time. The pine tree is, oh man, it is amazing. I don't know how much of, I think you get quite a bit of this. Yeah, isn't it just glorious to understand these things? Knowing tomorrow when you wake up, you'll know even a little bit more. It's just, yeah, and the pineal gland, the pineal. That's when in the Bible it talks about the place that they named pineal. He stacked up rocks and called it pineal. Um, the Bible is so symbolic about its stories and everything. It's I think a lot of the stories in the Bible actually happened, but even if they did or if they didn't, it's like you can look at the story and see that story in you, like Noah's Ark. You see, well, some people would say, well, how in the world did they get all them critters on Noah's Ark? I said, well, how about if the ark was within you and your DNA has the code in it of all creation on the entire planet? Did you know that, Cassandra? Our DNA has the code within it of all of creation. Anything that's in the image of God, it has that within it. You know, and there are some things that I don't think it has in the Bible, even talking about the ark, Noah's Ark. It referred to the unclean animals and the clean animals. Clean being in the image of God, and unclean being in the image of something else. You know, I guess we could assume what it means exactly. But yeah, you can see the stories if you look inward. We can see the stories in the Bible, uh, all inward as well. It's like they showed the heavens with things spinning around. You know, all the our brain itself with all the synopsis is firing and everything that's going on. I would imagine that it's basically that image, that same thing. You know, and I talk about how the Taurus and it has to have like a hurricane has to have two Tauruses, a lower level and an upper level. You ever heard me say that? Up, lower level, low, upper level, low. And yet we have two lobes in our brain, two main lobes, you know, left and right brain, right? Got left and right. And we got two eyes. We got two nostrils. We got 2 ears. We got 2 legs, 2 arms. You know, a man has 2 uh, I'm trying to think of a nice clean word for it. Reproductive things, you know, and a woman has 2 ovaries, you know. It's that 2 thing. There's a sun and a moon in the sky. The moon is known to control the reproductive cycles of women. The sun is known to control things to do with more with a man. It's uh, it's all within and without. It's just amazing. All right, let's try to finish this. I did want to actually it is finished. That is the end of it. Okay, because I wanted to go back. I wanted to show a couple more things because we're talking about this ribo thing and ribs and all that. Let me go down here on my computer and let me pull up some images. Okay, here's one. If it'll pull up. There we go, I think. So, you know, this is where Genesis 2 is talking about one of his ribs, you know, and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And it sounds like he's saying, you know, where you could easily see how people would think this is a rib. And I did find out that ribs will regrow. They do regenerate. If a rib is removed from your chest, it actually will grow back. It's one of the only bones in the body that'll do that. But I'm absolutely sure after much prayer, this is talking about ribo. But let's go back out here and let me look and see. Let me find the one I wanted to. Let's see here. Oh, yes. You say you're talking about rib, right? And is rib associated with, let me pull this up here. Let me close that one. Make this one bigger. Is rib associated with genetics? Is the word rib associated with genetics? Okay. If we look at this right here, this is talking about the 12 tribes. And the way language works is things that are related to each other will be within the same words like tribes that has the word ribs or rib in it, you see? So it's talking about tribes, tribes, the 12 tribes. That's the 12 different genetic limbs of the tree, you see? The ribs, the tribes. So, yeah, that is one confirmation. Let's see, I've got some more here to pull up. Yeah, okay, here we go. Let's see. This one is, let me see if I can remember which ones I did. Tribe. Okay, yes. Okay, let me open this one. Talking about ribs or tribe, excuse me. So this is the Strong's definition for tribe. It says a branch, you know, like a branch from the genetic tree as extending. Figuratively, a tribe. Also a rod, which has to do with why the queen was carrying her staff or rod. Whether for chastising, figuratively, correction, ruling, a scepter, which is what the queen was carrying. Throwing a lance or walking a staff, figuratively a support of life, bread, rod, staff, tribe. So that's your Strong's definition of tribe. It has to do with lineage, genealogy. So that's another confirmation. Let's see here. Now this is where the little twist on the bear comes in. Oops, wrong button. Okay. Oops, a little too big. Okay, so says, and Moses commanded the children of Israel, saying, this is the land which ye shall inherit by lot, which the Lord commanded to give unto thee, 9 tribes and to the half tribe. Half tribe. What's a half tribe was my question. I'm thinking. Now I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that has part human DNA that's related to either the giants or to Esau in the Bible or to, to that kind of thing. So here's this half tribe, right? So now let's take a look at the next one here. Open. Okay. And Moses gave unto them even to the children of Gad and to the children of Reuben and unto half the tribe. That's referring to it as half the tribe. But what it means is half tribe. And I can confirm that here in a second. Of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the king of Sihon, king of the Amorites, the king of Og, king of Bashan, the land with the cities thereof in the coast, even the cities of the country round about. So King Og is known to, there was a giant. He was of likely, I believe, of triple-stranded DNA. And so that, again, is another confirmation what the half tribe means. Half tribe. Let's open up this one here and close that one. Now here's just a search for the two words half and tribe, and some interesting things come up. It says, for the tribe of the children of Reuben according to the house of their fathers, genetics, and the tribe of their children, again, genetics of Gad according to the house of their fathers had received their inheritance, and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. The half tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance. The two tribes in the Numbers 34:15 right below, it says the two tribes and the half tribe have received their inheritance on this side, Jordan, near Jericho, eastward toward the sun rising. Now, of course, you could say, well, the inheritance, they're talking about the land, they're talking about this. But the Bible, I don't think, is ever really talking about one thing. It's talking about, it's multi-level, it's multi-tiered in the way that that it's written, and the symbolism behind it. Let's see what's down below it here. So then the rest of Gilead and Bashan, being the kingdom of Og, gave I unto Argob. You remember when Esau was born, Jacob was born second, but Esau was born first, but his birthright, meaning the right to rule, was taken from him and given to Jacob. Because when Esau was coming out, Jacob was grabbing him by his heel, basically, it said, grabbing him from behind, trying to drag him back, like the serpent biting on the heel, trying to make you stumble backwards. Let's see here. Okay, let's pull up the next one. I think I have a couple more here. Yeah, this is similar to the last one, or what I was just saying. It says, and the sons of Reuben, the firstborn of Israel. So the sons of Reuben were the firstborn of Israel. And a minute ago, it sounded like the sons of Reuben, some of them were giants, right? Or am I seeing things wrong? I don't have the answers. I'm trying to find the questions. You know what I mean? It says, for he was the firstborn, but for as much as he defiled his father's bed. You're basically saying defiling genetics, kind of, in a way. His birthright was given unto the sons of Joseph, the son of Israel. And the genealogy is not to be reckoned after the birthright. You see how it's kind of hints towards what I'm talking about, Cassandra? Yeah. It says, for Judah prevailed above his brethren, and of him came the chief ruler, but the birthright was Joseph's. It makes me think about, because a lot of what this has to do with is my last show where I was talking about the interview with the guy about the Sabe, the Bigfoot, the Sasquatch living in the woods, and the burden of Babylon, prophecy of them in the 3 days of darkness, the day of the Lord, of them coming and devouring much flesh. Just like the Daniel scripture there talks about something that kind of looked like the bear or had attributes of a bear, big, hairy, and powerful, coming with a triple-stranded DNA. That's my thoughts at the moment. And devouring much flesh. Now, there was another one I know I have here that makes it really interesting. Let me see if I can find it. This one. This is the verses right after the ones we just read. Chronicles 5, the sons of Joel, Shemaiah, his son, Gog, his son, remember Gog, right? Gog, his son, Shemaiah, his son, Micaiah, his son, Rihanna, however you want to pronounce it, his son, and then Baal, his son, Baal, his son, Baal. And of course, Baal is a name that is used to represent the ones that devour children. He's a mythical god kind of thing, has horns, and he devours children, from what I understand about it. And maybe that devouring of the children is referring to, I mean, you could say it's child sacrifice. You could say it may be referring to something that they do, these giants. I mean, we have read about them devouring humans, and ultimately was part of the reason they had to be destroyed. But yet, somehow it seems like they're back. Shannon was telling me the other day about the book of Noah, some kind of additional book about Noah, talking about the different genealogy that is, all right, the book genealogy of the different people or human-like people that was brought onto the ark, it says in it. And it refers to, she said it referred to some, and I haven't seen this text yet, so I don't even know what it is, so I can't vouch for it or anything. But like somehow this seed getting on the ark, you might say, whether it be symbolic or something, whether it means that somehow it exists, maybe not in us, but in some of the humans that are on the planet, that genetic piece, I'm not sure. Let's see. Trying to look here. Let's see if I have any more of those slides that I wanted to show. Yeah, this is just the one that we started out with. Yeah. Yeah, and this is the thing that you sent me, which I greatly appreciate. The laminin being in the symbolic image of what's called the point of creation, what I would call this. You could call it the crucifix. You could call it a lot of things. You could call it, but this image is within us as well. It's the temple built without hands. So, but with that being said, Cassandra, I think I'm going to call it for today. We're at about an hour and a half. Okay. I greatly appreciate you being here, and I hope that you'll come back again. And you're always welcome to come in studio with me like this, or if we can't figure out how to get the audio solved, which I'm going to figure out how to get it solved, but we'll work that out. But don't think I'll take offense if you just want to sit back and watch either, being out of studio, but you're welcome either way, okay? And yeah, with all that being said, I guess we'll see you. Let's see, tomorrow is the show day, so I'll be doing a show again tomorrow. Be some point between noon and 3, somewhere in there, whenever me and Shannon can get it all lined up, okay? All right. Well, we'll see you then, okay? Bye-bye.